Friday, August 16th, 2021, and I am in Noblesville, Indiana, up at the Morris Reservoir. Actually, this is one of the places I used to visit fairly frequently several years ago and do a lot of prayer walks around here and just enjoy the lake. Actually used to live on the lake for a couple of years and had a jet ski, was able to take it out and enjoy, and my daughter enjoyed it and my sons. So it's a perfect day. I think it's supposed to be like 81 degrees today with low humidity. So welcome to Franklin Dale Thomas, Captain Captain from Illinois, and good to see you on here on Facebook. Good to see those of you on YouTube as well. It's been great being able to do both at the same time. So this weekend, got to do a lot of long walks and also got to go canoeing with my family yesterday. That was awesome. Hadn't canoed for a while, and it was about a 7-mile canoe trip. Took about 3 hours. Unfortunately, the water wasn't as high as it could be, so we had to occasionally pull the canoe around rocks and so forth. So welcome to Tina Kirkpatrick on Facebook, my colleague in College Station, Texas. Also got to play Frisbee golf. Hadn't done that for a while. Actually right here on the Morris Park where I'm at. And also got to see two of my granddaughters, Aria, my son Austin, and then Winnie, my daughter Ashley. So got to see them and enjoying some pizza, enjoyed Texas Roadhouse with my daughter, and also got to eat at Woofie's. It's one of my favorite places in all of Indiana, and Woofie's actually is just kind of right behind me, not too far from here, about a mile away, mile and a half away as the crow flies, and have great hamburgers and great food all around. So looking forward to actually having some lunch there after I'm done. So my schedule coming up in the next couple of months is this Saturday. I'm very excited about the Chicago Marriott Naperville on Saturday night at 7 p.m. We always have our best turnouts in our Marriott properties in Chicago, and it's shaping up to, again, have a lot of people that are pre-registered for that. Again, you can register by simply going on my Facebook ministry page at Restored to Freedom, or you can go out to Eventbrite and do a search for Breakthrough in Naperville, and you'll be able to find it. Again, there's no charge. You just show up and then have your life change. We've seen a lot of people that have their lives change, or at least they start the process at these breakthrough events, and they learn how they've been wounded, how they've been hurt, and how we get demonic spirits from that, and how it causes us to behave in ways that are not the best, and we end up hurting ourselves, hurting our loved ones, and we infect our own children by our wounds that we have. We say things that are harsh and too harsh and too controlling and mean, and we end up sabotaging relationships that way. So we help people get healed, set free. We see marriages that are delivered. Again, it takes two. You can do the work and get yourself healed and delivered, but if your spouse chooses not to, they choose to keep the demonic spirits, they choose not to get their wounds healed, then they're going to manifest on you, and they're going to say things to hurt you. And obviously the demonic spirits want to stop anyone from doing their calling in the Lord. So September 25th, I'll be in Greenville, South Carolina, Faith Family Church. October, looking to confirm some venues in Florida. And then October 31st in Houston, Texas at the Cool Church. November 5th and 6th in Waco, Texas at Walking in Freedom. And we'll be adding some more as I go. So, topic of the day. People in the mainstream church are now learning that demons are real. And it's exciting. Oh, hello to Mindy Bush on YouTube. Good to see you on here. So essentially, here's what's been happening the last, all this year pretty much, is there's been a lot of people that either attend church on a regular basis, or they haven't attended church for a while because they've been hurt by people within the church, and they've been starting to hear about our ministry, Restored to Freedom, and learning that, oh my gosh, Christians can actually be affected by demons? But I've been taught otherwise. I've been taught that that can't happen. And guess what? It can, and it does. And most everyone is going to have thoughts coming from demonic spirits, whether they're saved, whether they can pray in tongues, whether they can prophesy. And so what's been happening here in the last several months is I'm getting a lot of personal sessions that people have just learned about the ministry, say for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and said, oh my gosh, I didn't realize this, but I would like a session because I'm struggling to have peace, struggling with my spouse, struggling with my children, you know. And again, the big telltale sign, if you are dealing with demonic spirits, is you're not going to have much peace. You're going to have a lot of negative thoughts. Could be fear, could be anxiety. Hello to Cindy Sankak from California on YouTube. And you're not going to have a lot of peace. You're going to walk in a lot of pride, and you're going to have a lot of strife with your loved ones, you know, with your spouse, with your children. And when people get healed from those past wounds and get delivered, then obviously they're going to have a lot more peace. So anyway, I'm getting a lot of people that are reaching out saying, I just learned about you a week ago, a couple of weeks ago. I've attended church, you know, much of my life, and I was taught that Christians couldn't be affected by demons. But now I'm learning that, okay, I go to the doctors, I try and get medication and therapy and counseling, and what I'm learning is that their methods are not effective. You know, they put us on medication, and we end up being like a zombie, or we end up having side effects from the medication, maybe suicidal thoughts. A lot of times that happens. So I'm going to read a blog that I wrote. I posted this. This is on my website. So you can actually go out to restoredtofreedom.com if you wanted to read the blog versus listening, you know, to the video, or you want to supplement what I've spoken and have it written in written form. And you can also go out to Facebook on Nelson Schumann, or you can go out to Restored to Freedom, or my support group, the Jezebel Ahab Leviathan support group on Facebook. And you can actually find it there. And if you want to read it, you want to copy and paste it, you want to share it, then feel free to. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and read it, and I'll stop whatever the Holy Spirit tells me to stop. So, all right, here we go. I have done thousands of personal inner healing and deliverance sessions for people since 2015. And I'm now seeing more and more people from the mainstream church who are discovering that they have been dealing with a demonic issue in themselves, their spouse, their children, due to wounds from their childhood, and they're motivated to seeking out deliverance. Like so many who grew up in the church were taught that demons cannot affect a Christian, the truth is getting out that most all who would call themselves a Christian are dealing with demonic strongholds that started when they were hurt by their own father, by their own mother, or other people. You know, next door neighbors that touch us, sexually affect us, grandpas, grandparents, you know, anyone, relatives, people you don't even know, and they get hurt emotionally, verbally, physically, and even sexually. So many are searching to get fixed from their past soul wounds so that they can enjoy peace in their life. And those who have sought out traditional counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, the medical community, and pastors are simply not seeing the positive results that they want in peace and having good health. So more and more of them are seeking out inner healing and deliverance ministers who help them see major positive shifts or changes in their lives simply by taking them back to their past, you know, through all those pains and wounds, and explaining to them that when they get wounded and they get hurt, then there's demonic spirits that are attached to their soul, which is their mind, their will, and their emotions. Again, it's amazing. I've done so many sessions, especially since I've learned about the soul wound healing process. And when a person can truly understand and see their mom, their dad, their grandparents, their step-parents, all these people that have said things to hurt them and or physically done things to hurt them, whether it be abuse, whether it be sexually abuse, whether it be physical abuse, when they can get a word from the Lord about them, where he will tell them that they were also hurt, they were also wounded, or he'll show them a vision from his perspective, and that they're simply dealing with demons, and that's what they're doing, is manifesting by saying all these mean things to them as they're growing up. Then they can choose to forgive them And when they choose to forgive, that takes away the legal rights of the demons to torment them. And then they can command them to go, like Jesus did. And then they have a lot more peace. And then they can remember those traumas and those wounds without all the anger and the bitterness or the tears. I can remember some things that happened to me without getting angry, without getting bitter. When you truly forgive a person, then if you see them walking down the street or coming into the room that you're in, sitting down near you, you don't get triggered and all angry and want to beat them up. You don't want to rip their head off anymore. It's because you've forgiven truly. And so if we haven't truly forgiven, and forgiveness can be a process, understanding that, but it really helps when the Lord speaks to you about them, and it actually allows you to see them walking in the same shoes maybe that you've walked in. Oftentimes that's what happens, is a mom or a dad that you have get hurt from their mom and dad, and then they end up triggering on you and saying things that are horrible. I wish you were never born. I wish I had an abortion. I wish I would have killed you. I mean, horrendous things. And that affects that child. All those words. And that's what the demons want to do, is to hurt those who are supposed to protect you. I mean, that's one of the worst pains that is out there. So anyway, more and more of them are seeking out inner healing and deliverance ministers who help them see major positive changes in their lives through taking them through having them forgive those who have hurt them, repenting for their pride and sin, and then commanding the demons to be gone from them. Then they finally receive true peace in their mind, and also many get healed from physical pains in their bodies. Anger and bitterness allow demons to torment people, in their minds as well as their bodies. Billy Graham once said that 75% of the people in the hospitals would not be there if they would just truly forgive the people that hurt them from their hearts. Kenneth Copeland said that 90% of chronic sicknesses are self-induced. And that's true. So over the past year, I've seen more and more people reaching out for personal sessions that would have never believed that they could have demons. It's interesting, when I do a session for someone, I always ask them, what are some of the worst things that ever happened to you? And then I simply record them, write them down, and then I go back to each one of those individuals that hurt them, and then I have the Lord come to speak to them so they can truly see these people from the Lord's perspective, and they can truly forgive from their hearts. Then at the end of the session, I will command the prevailing or the top demonic spirits to identify themselves to the person, and they will. They'll tell the person their name. They'll tell the person what their function was, when they started to initially affect them, maybe when they were 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old. And then they understand, oh my gosh, that's how the enemy came in to hurt me. And then we find out that the enemy still has legal rights. And so I remember one lady that I had done a session with, it's been a couple of months ago. She came in from the mainstream church her whole life, didn't believe that Christians could have demons, largely because her pastor taught her that, which mostly that's what happens. And she stumbled upon our ministry, and she's like, oh my gosh, I think this is explaining it all. So anyway, at the end of the session, I commanded the prevailing demon, I believe it was Jezebel, that identified itself to her. And then it told her when it started to have the legal rights to torment her. And she was like a little girl, and she was like touched sexually. And at that point, the demons had legal rights to start reminding her of all that. She ended up having desires to do sexual things that were not pure. She felt dirty at times. She felt ashamed, because the goal, the enemy, of course, is to get us to also do things that are not pure and then blame us for that. And so anyway, at the end of that interrogation of the demonic spirit, the demon told her, I think there was one legal right that it still had left, some additional unforgiveness that she had for like a grandparent. When she forgave, when the Lord came in and showed her the grandparent from his perspective, then she could forgive, and she truly meant it. And then we could command that demon to go. Jezebel has lots of demons that report to it. So after the session, she's like, that is crazy. That is the craziest thing ever. I could hear the demon speaking to me. It was telling me the truth, because we take it before the courts of heaven, so it can't lie. And she's like blown away. She's like, my gosh, if you would have told me a year ago or even 6 months ago that I could have been affected by demons, I would have said, no way. Christians can't have demons. That's what we're told. But she said, that's a lie. I'm like, yeah, it is a lie. We've been lied to by the majority of the people that have been leading the church. And so anyway, she got set free from that. She felt so much more peace, so much more joy. It helped her in her relationship with her husband. And then the husband went through a session. So anyway, it's amazing to watch the the aha go off in a person's, in their eyes, in their mind, when they actually are like, for the first time, start to hear our teaching, because all it does is validate the truth. And otherwise they really can't explain it. They're like, my gosh, the church says like I can't have demons, so I go to what they recommend. Oh, you got mental issues, you better go to the psychologist, you better go to your doctor, and they'll put you on medication. And that doesn't do anything to get rid of the demonic spirits, doesn't get rid of the anger and the bitterness and the pain, so they continue to struggle. So they become like a zombie sometimes, or they have side effects from that medication. It doesn't get to the spiritual root of being able to uproot the demonic spirit, take away the legal rights, command them to go, and now you have good thoughts. You have positive thoughts. You know, I will not allow myself to listen to a demonic thought. I shut it down. And it's really hard for people to discern that if they're programmed and told that they can't be affected by demonic spirits. Are you possessed? Most times, no, you're not possessed. But you sure are, what? You are tormented. You are being affected by it, by your thoughts. And that's how the enemy comes in. So, all right, let me go back to my blog. All right. So over the past year, I've seen more and more people reaching out to me for personal sessions that would never believe they had demons. They are desperate for a real solution to help them get off of taking medications that have many side effects and never fix them, and wanting to see all their physical pains be healed so that they can enjoy their lives. We have seen many who were depressed with thoughts from demons and hearing suicidal thoughts, no longer hearing those demonic voices anymore after they forgave people who hurt them when they were growing up and present day, and then commanded the demons that attach to their soul, which is our mind, our thoughts, our will, and our emotions. You know, sometimes you can feel it inside. I feel fear, I feel anxiety, I feel anger, I feel bitterness. That's a part of your soul. And those demons will attach to your soul. That's how they come in. That's why Jesus is wanting us to help souls to get healed and delivered. And of course, Satan wants to come after our souls as well. All right, so we've seen many who are depressed with thoughts from demons and hearing suicidal thoughts no longer hear those demonic voices anymore after they forgave people who hurt them and when they were growing up in present day, and then commanded the demons that attached to their soul to go. When they repented for their pride and sin and humbled themselves before the Lord, they felt so much better and cleaner in the Lord. They were able to stop acting out in sexual ways that were ungodly. When both they and their spouse got healed and delivered, guess what? They were able to stop striving, stop arguing and fighting. They actually loved each other and treated each other with respect. They are able to apologize to their children for the pain that they inflicted on them, and then their hearts turn back to their parents. So they're able to save. You know, there's so many that are miserably married. And is that a way to live? Is that a way to enjoy? Is that a way the fruit of the Spirit is? No, it's not. You know, and I understand that there are people that have demonic spirits that you're married to that refuse to get delivered. They blame you for everything. And until they humble themselves before the Lord, they're not going to get delivered. If they want to keep blaming you, that's what the demons want them to do. And then they never get set free. So people have tried all of man's methods to fix their demonic issues, and it simply does not work. I remember there was a 10-year-old girl from College Station, Texas. She went on a church youth trip to Colorado. She was there, I think, for like a week. And there were other people that went on that trip that came from College Station, from their church. And on that trip, unfortunately, she was touched sexually. She was molested. And so when she came back from the trip, she was a mess. She was hearing demonic spirits. All it takes is one time for you to be touched sexually, or to have someone make you touch them. You know, and then the demonic spirits will start to speak to you in your mind, and you will hear them very loudly. And so she changed. And when I saw the girl, she was, I believe she was about, 10 years of age. So it happened when she was around 8 or 9. And she changed. Her personality changed. And yeah, and actually Tina Kirkpatrick was there actually when we did this. This is, she lives, of course, in College Station, so she was there at the same time and witnessed it. So this girl was a mess. You know, she had tried, her mother tried psychologists, medical doctors, pastors, counselors, but none of them understood inner healing and deliverance. So when we went there and I saw the girl, I explained to them up front, the family, they were all there in the living room, and the Lord just spoke to me and said, just go over there and command the demons to go. You know, you have the authority. You know, she's only 10 years of age. You don't have to really get her permission. She doesn't want to be operating in this. And so I just went over, put my hand on her, commanded the demons to go. And then within well, she was changed and delivered instantly, but it was about, I don't know, an hour or two later after we'd left that they went to the park. And the little girl, get this, I forgot about this part. The girl that week, before we went through the deliverance, that week had written a paper. And in the paper she written, and this is for school that she did it, she described the way that she was going to dismember her mom's body parts, how she was going to kill her. That's how demonic that those spirits were upon her. And she also did not like her younger brother. She was always being mean to him all the time. It was horrible. And so after the deliverance, they went to the park, and that little girl held her mother's hand and was being loving and kind and sweet. It was like she was completely changed back to prior before she was molested. And so she had changed instantly. And when they came back from the park, she wanted to see pictures of her little brother when he was a baby from a photo album, which of course before this, she hated him. You know, for 2 years this went on, 2 years. And yeah, Tina's saying afterwards she sat next to her mother after the deliverance. Again, it only took, I don't know, 30 seconds to take authority like Jesus would do, command the demons to go. Again, I see this, it works very effectively on children. Once they tend to be 18, 19, and they actually move out of the house, then they basically have their own authority, and you really cannot take over the person's free will at that point. So it becomes more challenging. So anyway, the daughter changed dramatically. And the whole family is like, oh my gosh, we have peace now. She's loving, she's kind, she's sweet. And again, this family went to church all the time, you know, but the church, largely, they don't understand this. And so when people understand this, that they can do the same things that Jesus did, you know, we did some teaching and training. She actually watched, you know, some of our ministry and got our books as well. And it was amazing, the change. So the family didn't have the strife anymore. They didn't have the fighting. It was gone. And the same thing, you know, when I saw that, you know, and I'd been obviously doing ministry for a couple of years, you know, I saw that with my own family. My own son had been affected negatively, very negatively, for 10 years. I had to go through this. And we did everything that man would suggest. We put him in Christian counseling. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on Christian counseling. They put him on medication. Nothing worked. I prayed a prayer. In 30 seconds, he was set free and delivered. Got my son back after 10 years of hell. And so the church needs to teach this. Well, if the church is not, then it's going to raise up people outside of the mainstream church that will have ministries that are going to help people get set free and delivered. And then what will happen is that the mainstream people in the church are going to hear about this little by little, word of mouth. I see a lot of people, word of mouth, that are talking about this, saying, listen, this is the real deal, you know. And so you can either choose to go where man is telling you to go. Oh, this is a mental disorder. This is a mental disorder. Listen, well, I'm going to go ahead and read on here. People are looking for a change that is significant and real, and they cannot resolve spiritual issues where demons have legal rights to torment them with medications. You cannot medicate out a demon that has legal rights. Most all mental disorders are demonic at the spiritual root. People have these disorders due to growing up with people who have hurt them, some emotionally, some verbally, some physically, sexually, and some through demonic dedications or witchcraft. So more and more people in the mainstream church are learning that inner healing and deliverance is really the only way of truly setting the captives free in Jesus' name, and cause people's negative personalities and evil behavior to change. A lot of times it's suddenly. You know, I've got pictures of people don't look the same anymore from before and after the deliverance. It's amazing So much of deliverance for adults is a process of removing the layers and levels as the person is able to be honest and forgive and repent. So it's true. That's why oftentimes people that are adults, they may say that, hey, oh, there's the boat going. Oh, look at the boat behind me. Yay. I love boats, by the way. Boats are fun because you can have fun on them. You can go fast. You can pull people on inner tubes. You just have to be very careful when you launch the boat that you don't put the lever all the way down when you're actually taking off, that you go slow during the wake zone. So understanding that. But anyway, why is it deliverance oftentimes take a process? Why is an instant for a lot of adults? And this is the reason why. It's because if they still have unforgiveness for people that hurt them, demons still have legal rights to torment them. So that's why it may take a person months, it may take them a year. Oftentimes people say, well, if you're 40 years of age and you've been hurt and wounded quite a bit, it's going to take you a year to get healed and delivered completely. Because it takes you a while to completely see these people that have hurt you through the Lord's eyes and through forgiveness and repenting for our own pride. People who have been satanic, ritually abused, may have been raped thousands and thousands of times. And they may have thousands of different personalities that have been hurt. Oh yeah, Franklin Del Thomas is on here. Boats. Yes, he's a captain. Captain, oh captain. In fact, it was here, Franklin, it was here that the Lord gave me the word for you. And I was able to, this is about, what was it? Was it last year? I think it was last year about this time that I was around or near here. And the Lord gave me a word. In fact, I think it was it was on my way to the East Coast to Richmond, Virginia. It was like right around early September, I think, and the Lord had given me a word that you were a captain, like a captain. And then you said, I am a captain. And I'm like, what? You were literally a captain? That is so cool. Sherry Guthrie Gentry on Facebook. Hello. So anyways, that's why it takes time, oftentimes, for people to get healed and delivered completely, is because they still have some anger, unforgiveness for different people. The Holy Spirit oftentimes will show you when you're ready, little by little, more and more, of you still got unforgiveness for this person hurt you here, and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot all about them. That's right. Okay, Lord, I choose to forgive them. And or pride. When people have a lot of pride, that can keep us from our healing and deliverance and allow the demonic spirits to keep on us. So as more and more people are manifesting in demonic ways, it is becoming more and more evident and apparent for the need of inner healing and deliverance. And I believe that inner healing and deliverance will be the #1 ministry that you're going to see develop all around the world, starting now, really. There's more and more people, and it's great to have prophetic words, but I'll say this, if you've got demons that have legal rights, you've got pride, you've got issues with people, your unforgiveness, and you keep going to get these prophetic words spoken over you that make you feel good about yourself, oftentimes puff you up in pride, you're going to keep your demons. And there's people that are prophets that have demons. I've seen them. They're very prideful. They're very arrogant. They've not been healed yet and delivered. So can God use their gifting? Yes. But are they saved? Are they on their way to heaven? Maybe not. Matthew 7:21-23. Lord, Lord, look at all I've done. I've cast out demons in your name. I've prophesied in your name. I've done many wonders in your name. And the Lord's like, get out of here. You continue to pursue a sinful lifestyle. Lawlessness. Galatians 5:16-26 talks about it. And so I believe that right now there's a whole bunch of people, whether they're in the prophetic community, whether they're in church and leadership positions, that need healing and deliverance, absolutely, positively. You will know them by their fruit. The Lord knows if they're healed or delivered yet. And so you're going to see more and more people that are going to pursue inner healing and deliverance, because that's what truly gets them saved. A lot of people think, well, I just asked Jesus into my heart. Oh, I was saved at that time. But then I'm like, well, then reconcile Matthew 7:21-23. Lord, Lord, look at all I've done for you. It doesn't matter about the works. It doesn't matter about the works. It matters about the fruit of the Spirit in your heart and your mind. The Lord searches the mind and the heart. Jeremiah 17:10. He's not impressed by your works. There's a lot of people that have demonic spirits that do good works, makes themselves look good and appearing good in front of the church. They give big tithes, but they got a lot of pride, a lot of arrogancy, and the Lord's not impressed with that. So anyways, Well, there you go. We continue to see more and more people around the world that are being healed and delivered, and it's a great thing. So, alrighty, I'm going to let you guys go. I try and keep these now to about 30 minutes, and we'll continue to see you on Facebook and YouTube. All right, love ya. Bye-bye.